Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new here, I'm Tiffany, this is my channel, and I haven't done one of these face-to-face videos in a very long time. And so, hello, hi again, I'm alive. I come in and out, but that's just because my life is kind of a little busy, a little hectic right now. But I wanted to come on and do sort of like a face-to-face vlog and just talk about some things. You can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about my jar of artist dates. It's been on my mind for a while, and so I have some time this morning that I'm going to sit down and talk you through it. So I feel like I did do a video about my jar of artist dates like a long time ago, but I don't remember it. And I know I did one specifically for my unfurling journaling class that I have up on my shop, but I'm not sure if I did one, or maybe I put the information of it in like one of those other vlog things that I did at the start of the, I think it was the start of the year, or last year, actually it was last year, that I didn't like see through, of course, because that is kind of my thing. Apparently I say that I'm going to do something and then I kind of don't see it through. It's weird though, because I don't see it through for other people. Like if I say that I'm going to do a thing and I was going to share that thing, I don't see through to that. I still do the thing or whatever it encompasses, but I just do it for myself. Anyway, that is a long tangent. We don't need to talk about that. I want to talk about my jar of artist dates. So let me just give you a backstory of the jar of artist dates. I will link videos that you can go see just to hear some more of the backstory. But essentially, God, I don't even know how many years ago. Almost, not quite 3 years ago. So like 2 and something years ago. Goodness. Seems like a long time ago, seems like yesterday sometimes, but I got my heart broken, and you can hear all about that in my heart journey video, which I will leave a link up here for. Yeah, and I was in like a really bad sort of headspace, a bad place, just here, like mentally and emotionally. And I think I talk about in that video how I felt like I lost myself, or like lost a part of myself, and I literally didn't do any art, didn't do any like creative journaling or nothing like that. My journaling practice literally has transitioned into me like physically writing, like just straight journaling at this point. And that's because I felt kind of lost. I didn't feel like I had a direction anymore, which is really, really sad. But you'll hear more of the backstory of that. But I remember, oh God, I think it was last year. 2022 was a bad year. 2023, I revisited Julia Cameron's Artist Way idea of artist dates, taking yourself out on an artist date to inspire creativity and inspiration, and basically do something for you to go out and play. Do something that you enjoyed. And I felt like I really needed that because I was, one, we were coming off of pandemic, right? And I felt just really trapped in my space. I felt trapped in my life. I just kind of felt trapped and felt lost. Like I didn't have a direction, didn't have a purpose, and all these things. And then of course I was heartbroken, right? And so like all of these different emotions, and like I felt like kind of deep in my soul that I needed to get out. And that just meant that usually, okay, when I cope, I learned this about myself. When I have hard feelings, I want to escape. And my form of escapism is to travel. And at that time, really, we couldn't really travel because I like traveling internationally, and I couldn't do that because a lot of the places were closed and restrictions and yada yada, and I didn't want to kind of go through all of those hoops just to leave the mental and emotional state that I was in, considering that when I come back it's still going to be there, nothing's going to change, right? It's just I'm escaping for a little bit. And so I learned to kind of sit with all my feelings and all of my thoughts and everything, and learn to be like, I like to call it sitting in the mud with all of that bad stuff, that hard stuff. And I feel like I'm a very emotional person. My moon is in Leo, and so I'm like super emotional and just chaotic inside in terms of emotions and things. Very dramatic. I tend to process it by myself though, like internally by myself, and I'm hoping that I learned how to I'm still bad at it. Like I still tend to react on my emotions. I'm learning to pause and be mindful of when those emotions come up, and to not react, but just to kind of pause and kind of feel like why I'm feeling this way. Anyway, that is like a whole other story too. I have a lot of stories, but I knew that I needed to get out. Like I needed to do something physically to get myself out, sort of this mental space, the emotional space, the space that I'd been in for like 2 years. And so I decided to write a list of things that I can do in the city. So I live in New York City and I've lived here all my life, and it just occurred to me that like, hey, you live in New York City, there is so much stuff to do. I'm pretty sure you can find things that you would love to do, and like, you know, activities, events, or whatever that is just up your alley. Like, because I'm an introvert and I like artsy things, and I'm not like a party person. I don't really like bars and things like that. And I feel like people my age who are social in the city, that's where they meet, is at bars and clubs and stuff like that. And like, I'm just not that person. And so I'm like, there has to be other things that I can do to, one, get myself out and doing something that I enjoy, but also connecting with people, because I think that's what I was missing through the whole thing, was connection with other people. And honestly, I feel like at that time, a lot of people felt the same way. Again, we were coming off pandemic, and I think even now, people are still feeling that lack of connection with other people. And I think this is something that I kind of want to explore this year. Yeah, I just kind of want to talk more about that. I know this channel is a journaling channel, and like memory keeping and scrapbooking and documenting your life on paper, and art journaling and stuff like that. But this is where I've been like the last, I want to say 2 years, is just exploring just I guess mental health, personal growth, but like I keep thinking about, I keep thinking the phrase, the Lonely Hearts Club, like just that phrase, that like, especially, I say people my age. When I mean that, I mean like 20s and 30s. I feel like a lot of us are in this club. It's like this silent club that's like the Lonely Hearts Club, and we're all like kind of starving. I hate using that word because it seems so big and sort of kind of negative and like kind of grasping, but we're starving for connection, and I see it everywhere. And like, I've been doing classes and workshops and events and stuff, and I see it everywhere. The reason people come to those things by themselves, and I think one of the major reason why they go to those events by themselves is because they're seeking that connection with someone who speaks to their soul, that are into the same niche things. And that's just something that's been in my mind a lot. Like, just, I mean, this whole year, like the last 5 months of my life in 2024 has been completely chaos and chaotic, and I'm being pulled different directions and stuff, but a lot of my thoughts return to the same things. And so I kind of wanted to pop on and like talk about that, and start talking about that, and start sharing like what I've been doing to sort of, I guess, cope is the right word with that. Now, not to say I have a lot of friends. I do have a lot of friends. I am blessed to have friends that I've known for over 20 years. They're amazing, but I feel like as you get older, it's hard to sort of prioritize time and like coordinate events. And we do. I mean, I spent 2 weeks in Tokyo, Japan with my good friends, and we had a blast. But it's, I think my friend group is really good at staying connected, which I really appreciate. I will say that I'm into a lot of things that I'm not even sure my friends will be into, and I haven't had the courage to actually invite them to like a journaling class or anything like that. And maybe that's something that I should really do, is like reach out more and say, hey, I'm doing this thing, is anybody interested? But at the same time, I feel in my soul like I need to meet new people who kind of are into the stuff that I'm into, which is journaling, and I'm getting into astrology, and I like personal growth and mindfulness and like kind of all that woohoo kind of stuff, and just like finding connection outside of that friend group that I've had for so long. I had a friend come visit the beginning of May. So as I'm filming this, it's June 1st. Hi June. We were just talking about things and I was telling her about my goals that I had set in October 2020, and they were like 3 things. I was telling her how I want to go to a wedding. I should preface this. My 3 goals in 2020, in October of 2020, were get a job that fulfills me, that I actually enjoy doing, because at the time I had a job that I hated. The second one was to have my own place, because at the time of COVID time, I was just living in my mom's house. Prior to that, I was traveling. I was like backpacking, so this was like my home base, but I was barely here. That, have my own place, and the last one was to fall in love. And I had different things, and different things didn't work out, and so I like, God, I want to say the ending 2021, I had none of it, right? And none of the 3. And I guess the word that keeps popping in my head is alignment. I have a job now that I absolutely love, which is kind of why you don't see a lot of videos from me right now currently, is because I'm working a lot. Most of my time is spent working, and I don't know, it's been difficult to kind of balance creating videos and then doing my full-time job that I actually really love and enjoy. And I could do it because I work remotely, so like if I can schedule my time right, I can film, but it's just where I am right now, right? So I have the one, and I know that one, it's not going anywhere, because it was like divine intervention almost. It came to me divinely, and I firmly believe that it was alignment. And so that's the first one. Not even 2 months ago, like a month ago, April 29th, I closed on an apartment in New York City. I actually own an apartment in New York City, which is mind-boggling. I would have never imagined that. So that's the second one. And the last one is to fall in love again. And my friend who came to visit, we're going back, because I know I digress. We talked about that, and I cried, because I think out of the 3, that's the one that I wanted the most. But it's like very difficult to meet people and to date. I don't know how it is in your town. New York City, it's like twice as hard. And like most people meet like people through their friends and stuff like that. And I was telling my friend, I'm like, I need to go to a wedding. But none of my friends are getting married. All of my friends are queer. And like, for the most part, their friends are queer. Like, it's just, I have a lot of queer friends, and I love my friends. Honestly, they're the most accepting, lovable people in the entire world, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. But I was telling my friend, kind of jokingly, but also kind of seriously, I need some more straight friends, because straight friends have other straight friends. It's like a thing. It's like, I think you have to meet people being a friend of a friend, a friend, a friend, a friend. I don't know. And my pool is very small because of that fact. But it was a joke. But that leads me to the Jar of Art Estates. That was kind of a reason why I wanted to start doing like events and stuff and getting myself out there, was not only to meet like-minded people, but also just to meet somebody, because Prince Charming's not gonna knock on my door, even though my job knocked on my door and said, hey, do you want to work here? But I don't think that happens unless, it's a delivery guy. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. But anyway, back to the Jar of Art Estates. So I knew that I needed to get out, and originally it was because I just needed to go do something, and I needed to be with people. That didn't necessarily mean I needed to find the love of my life. I just needed to be with people. I think now I'm more focused on that, even though my life is chaotic, and like I'm kind of like at the point where I need to just give up and just like focus on just doing things that I enjoyed. But also it's a lot of emotional components with that too. But I wanted to go back to my jar, because last year I did it. I did the thing. I put things that I can do. I broke it up into 3 categories: things that I can do that I love, that I've always done, and I put like a third of the dates in that jar. And then the second third were things that I've always wanted to do, but I've never made time for it. And then the last third were things that I've always wanted to do, but it scares me shitless. And I put it all in the jar, and the idea was I'm actually going to reach over to my dusty jar, because I haven't touched it in like a while, to pick one out of the jar, and whichever one I pick that week, that is what I do. And so I did that last year, and I did quite a bit of these. And what I would do is I would pick them, and then I would put them back in the jar Like I would do them and then I put them back in the jar. And so this jar is filled with artist dates. And I told myself the ending of last year that I was going to go hard this year in 2024. And I have not touched this since December of last year because, again, life chaotic. It was just like work. I had like a work retreat. Then I went to Japan, and on top of all that stuff, I was doing all the things for my apartment, you know, just I had a thing with my mortgage lender and like all the things and the closing, like all of it just happened like back to back to back to back. Plus I was working full time, and so there's a lot. There's a lot. So I haven't actually done any of these, but it is June 1st, 2024, and I want to get into this jar. I want to get into the jar and I want to do all of the dates in here. So that's saying a lot of the dates that I have already done last year are still in this jar. And I thought about keeping them in there, but when I was pulling stuff out randomly, I'm like, oh, I did this already. Oh, I did this already. Oh, I did this already. And like whenever I pulled out a new idea that I already done, I felt it in me, like, you know, like, do I really want to do this again? Like, some of them I really enjoyed and I wouldn't have a problem, but I know me, I like new. I like new. So I was just like, you know what? I think even though it's a nice idea to keep the ones that you have done and you enjoyed doing in the jar, you kind of want to do new things. You kind of want to stretch. I learned from doing this last year and like signing up for events that I would never have gone to by myself, and like I went to like bars and stuff by myself and all these things and met strange people and all the you know, all these things that really got me out of my comfort zone. I'm an introvert and I'm super shy, and I say I'm socially awkward because I think I really am in social aspects, especially when I don't know people around. I'm usually a bit more comfortable if I have like one friend there, if like I know one person, but I'm very awkward. I wander. I don't know how to start conversations, and I can talk your ear off for days, but like just initiating, I'm bad. I'm awful. But yeah, but I realized that it got me out of that shell a little bit, and so now I want to go hard. I didn't pick a word for this year, honestly. I didn't really set intentions for this year either. I started the year off with like no intentions and no word, but the phrase that kept coming up for me was "have courage, dear heart," because I didn't want to let go of my word heart from last year, but I love the word courage. I know Lydia from February and June, that is her word, and that's where I heard it, and it just resonated. Like everything that she said about that word and how it relates to her resonated with me so hard that I was just like, courage, but I didn't want to give up heart. And so, you know, Chronicles of Narnia, have courage, dear heart. I think that's my phrase. That's the phrase that's been in my head, and I keep writing it. I've been journaling a lot, but like journaling, so I haven't been sharing much of it, but have courage, dear heart. And so I want to have courage, dear heart. It's the summertime. I mean, it's not officially summer yet, but it's June 1st, and it's really nice out, and like this is kind of like the time in New York that I like to be outside because it's not cold and it's not icky, and it's just, there's a different vibe. I like the whole city is awake, and like we're just all blooming, and it's beautiful, and like, yeah, it's good vibes. And so I want to go out and have courage. And so that was a very long intro. Like that was a very long 20-minute intro of this jar. And the video that I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to go through every single date idea that I put in here, and I'm going to weed out the ones that I've already done. And I'm going to do it on camera with all of you. And so I'm going to open it. This is a very dusty jar. And we are going to... Let me see if I can take all of them out at once. I know I have some empty pieces of paper in here as well. That's just to add more ideas. Usually when like somebody's throwing a new event, or if I find something on Reddit, or something that interests me on Eventbrite or whatever, I'll put it on here. Especially if it's something reoccurring, Reddit's a good source for it. If you're in New York City, I don't know how many of my followers are from New York City, but Reddit, I think it's the NYC meetups, there's Ask NYC, like just the Reddit and New York forums, they post a lot of cool stuff that happen. A lot of them are reoccurring, and so usually if something catches my eye, I will write it on one of these papers and they'll become a date. Okay, so my jar is empty and I'm gonna set it aside because I have it on my lap. And I'm gonna go through all of these little pieces and see which ones I've done and which ones that I have to do. And yeah, I'm just gonna read them out. Again, if you're in New York and you want some ideas on stuff to do. These things are kind of not New York specific. Some of them are, and some of them you can do like elsewhere if they have it elsewhere. But yeah, I just kind of want to go through them and see which ones that I've done and which ones I haven't, and those are the ones that I'm going to do this year. So the first one is take a floral arrangement class. I haven't done that yet. I really would love to do that. I actually just signed up for a class that's not this, but it's more of a create your own herbarium. It's basically pressing flowers, but like in a specific way, and it's at the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, and I've never been to the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, and so I signed up for it, and that's in August. And that's another thing. If I have a date idea, I know I have one that says take an art class. Those things, especially in the city, you have to sign up for in advance. And so I have a feeling that I'm going to go through these, weed out the ones that I've already done, and then go through them again and see which ones need advance reservation. And so I'm probably not going to pull them randomly out of the jar like my intention was, because I would love that spur of the moment thing, but it's very hard to sign up for stuff spur of the moment and have them be available. And so if I do it in advance, yeah, so I'm going to kind of fill up my summer calendar that way, I think. It's kind of psychotic, but I want to get through all of these. So like this one, take a long weekend trip to Burlington, Vermont. I underline that in red. I don't know if you can see, because that is a pre-planned thing. It'd be really cool if I can just do that spur of the moment, but there's more logistics, right? So I haven't done that one yet. This one is take yourself out to dinner, and then in parentheses I wrote bonus points if you dress up. I have not done that yet. How many people are scared of doing this, of taking yourself out to dinner, like at a restaurant, like making a reservation for one? Because in New York City you have to make a reservation, and it'll be a sit down place and not like a fast food place, because I think, you know, going to get a slice of pizza somewhere, I've done that by myself, completely fine. But this is like fancy, like sit down place, dinner for one. They're called artist dates for a reason. The whole concept is that you do them by yourself, right? This one, the book club bar, drink and draft. This is something that I would have to plan for in advance. This is a bookstore / bar. They do events. One of them is their drink and draft, and I believe another one is their drink and draw, which I also haven't done yet, but that you have to sign up for in advance. So again, this is something that I would have to do well in advance. I'm gonna go back and like list out everything that I have to do well in advance and then reserve all of that stuff. Take a yoga class. So I've only done yoga one time. I'm complete novice, beginner, and that was in Bali in pretty much a treehouse. It was a treehouse, yoga barn in Ubud, Bali. It was literally in a tree. It was kind of cool. I'm not a yoga person, but I would love to do a yoga class. Get your ears pierced at Rowan. This is another thing. So I have my ears pierced, but I want a second hole on both sides, and I found a place that does them, that caters to hyperallergenic, like people with sensitive skin. I have contact dermatitis, so I need like, yeah, special. And this is a place for like young girls to go get their ears pierced. I'm a young girl. I'm gonna get my ears pierced. But this is something else that I have to set an appointment for. I haven't done that. I want to do that. I might do that this month actually, because yeah, I kind of want to do that. I have these Han and Princess Leia earrings that have their little heads. I have a necklace. It's a Grogu necklace, and it's so pretty and so simple. I have the earrings that are Han and Leia, and the Leia one has it's 4 pairs of earrings, so you're supposed to have 4 holes. The Leia is like the Leia's head, and then above it says I love you, and then Han's head, and then I know, and I want to wear them. Spend the day at Prospect Park. If you know anything about Brooklyn, the park there is Prospect Park. I'm a Manhattanite. I'm a Central Park girl. I know Central Park like the back of my hand. I've been to Prospect Park a total of 1 time for the cherry blossoms, and I haven't been there since. And It looks like a really nice park. I want to explore. My friend lives like 2 blocks away. I need to explore. Sign up for an art retreat. I've always wanted to do this. There is a place upstate. It's called the Hudson Valley Art, whatever. It's in Greenville, New York. They do art classes, art retreats, and I kind of want to do one. Again, to plan that in advance. Go on a photography walk in a new neighborhood. I've gone on lots of photography walks in the city, but never in a new neighborhood that I've never been to before. So I need to do that. So far I'm pulling out all the ones that I haven't done yet. Attend a skip the small talk event. I've done this. I've done this multiple times. This is something that I did last year. This, you don't have to be in New York City for. If you go to skipthesmalltalk, I think it's .com, I will leave the link down below. You can see if they have this in your city, but it's basically going to an event, going to a space. It's usually like a bar or a sort of like bar lounge or brewery or something, or bookstore, and you meet a bunch of strangers and you talk to them for 2 hours. And it's really cool if you just want to get out and meet new people and talk to different types of people. It started in Boston. I would love the next time I'm in Boston to do a skip to small talk there, because that's where it originated, but it's all over. You just go to the website and see if your city is there, and it might be. But I've done that. This one says attend a bar trivia night. This one had something, a different thing on it. I would do this a lot. If I had something original and then I crossed it out because I'm like, it's not feasible, I would put something new. I've never done this and I want to do this. This is something though you have to, I'm going to have to go with a group, because you need like a group to do trivia, bar trivia. But we'll come to that when it's time to come to that. Visit the Museum of Moving Images. I've always wanted to go here and I've never gone here. This is in Queens. If you're in New York City, this is in Astoria, or yeah, I think it's in Astoria. I've been to a lot of museums in New York. I've been to a whole slew of them, maybe all of them, not all of them clearly, but most of the really big ones. This one, I need to go here. Let's see what else we got. Free first Saturday at Brooklyn Museum. That's today. Today is Saturday, June 1st. There's free Saturdays at Brooklyn Museum, the Brooklyn Museum. I've never done this. I've done Whitney and I've done MoMA. Never done Brooklyn. So can't do it this time, but that's something I need to pre-plan, maybe for July 1st. Attend a poetry reading. I've always wanted to do this and I've never done it before. And so this is definitely something that I need to go do. And then, let's see here. Catch a Broadway show. Bonus points if you dress up. Okay, so I've seen a Broadway show. I've seen plenty of Broadway shows. I grew up on the Broadway musicals. My first show, I was 5, and it was Beauty and the Beast, and it was fantastic. This means to go to a Broadway show by yourself, dressed up. You know how back then people would go to shows in the city, they would go to Broadway, and they would dress up in their finest outfits. Like, I mean, legit hats, beautiful jewels, pearls, all the things. That's what this is. That is what this is. This is being so extra, and going to a Broadway show by myself, dressed up. And so I want to do that. It scares me. I might be like a crazy person, but I'm going to be so dolled and I'm going to take myself out on to a Broadway show. They're expensive now too, so might as well make it an event. Visit Ruby's House of Crystals. I've done this. If you're in Brooklyn, this is in like Columbia waterfront area. It is a crystal shop. There is a sister crystal shop called June's House of Crystals. It's in Williamsburg. I've not been to that one, so that might be a date, but yeah. Uniqlo Free Fridays at the MoMA. I've done this. Again, another free event in New York City if you are interested. Sign up for an art class. I want to do this. I've never done this. What I mean by this is like a one-off art class. I gotta do that. I gotta find some art classes. There actually is a really good place I've never been to. I want to try. It's called Brooklyn Brainery that does classes of all sorts of things. They have art stuff there. Visit a cat cafe. I know there's a couple in the city and I have not been to one, and so that's something that I want to do. Visit Printed Matter. Printed Matter is this really cool art book store. They sell art books, zines, like that's the whole thing. It's very zine, very, when I mean art book, honestly, they look like posh art journals. I took my friend who came to visit in May. We were just down in that area. I'm like, hey, there's a store that, granted I didn't do it by myself, but there's a store that I've been wanting to go to. Let's go. We went. It is such a cool store. Something that I'll probably do again, but I've already gone there, so yeah. But it's really, really cool. And yeah, the concept of an art book. You know how there's a bunch of art journalers who, I think Sabrina Ward Harrison, she has a class called Liberate, where you can make your own like book, but it's like filled with your art and your stories. That's technically an art book. It's like, it's a lot of them look like art journals to me, but they're called art books. And this whole store is filled with people's art books, art journals, zines. It's amazing. It's called Printed Matter. Look it up. It's in New York City. Catch a movie at Rooftop Cinema Club. This is something cool. They do this. I know it's in Manhattan. I'm not sure if it's in like other places, but you can watch movies on the roof of some hotel building downtown, and there's like a bar and stuff like that. And most of the movies are kind of nostalgic. It's not new movies, but that seems like a cool thing to do. So I kind of want to do that. Karaoke at Sid Gold's request room. I don't know whether I should leave this in or not. I've done this twice. Once with my friends and then once with my coworkers who I had just met that day, like in person. So I'm not sure. I mean, I'm supposed to do this by myself, but I think I'm gonna say that I've already done this for now. So since my camera died, I actually went through all of the things that I did, or artist dates ideas, and I pulled out all the ones that I did. So I'm gonna go through them quickly in case you're ever in New York City, and some of these are New York City specific, so yeah, in case you're here, you live here, and you need stuff to do, go to Strand Bookstore. It's like one of my favorite things to do in the entire world is go to this bookstore. I get a lot of my used books here. I get a lot of the books that I use to make altered journals here as well. I usually buy like the $2 ones. I don't think they're $2 anymore, but they used to be $2. Outside you can find some really good like old hardcover books. Yeah, Strand. Saturday, Sunday morning visit to the Met. I actually want to do this. I want to see the Sleeping Beauties fashion collection, so I'm probably gonna have to do that on a Saturday or Sunday morning, like when the museum first opens. So I'm gonna plan that out. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna plan that out. But yeah, this is something that I've done. I literally grew up at the Met. My dad worked here literally all his life, and yeah, the first time I ever went to this museum, I was 18 months old. So I was one of those free-range kids that ran around the Met by myself with my dad's ID in case the guards like were like, why is this kid in the museum by themselves? Because my dad worked there and he would take me to work with him, and I would be like a 7-year-old with his ID, and I would just go through the galleries. I was a good kid. I'm a quiet, introvert, shy person. That's how I was, even more so as a kid, and I loved art, and so I literally grew up there. Catch a film at Film Forum. So if you're into like, I want to say like indie films, kind of that sort of film. I mean, they play a lot of classics and stuff, really good documentaries and stuff here. Film Forum. I've already done that. Take a walk through Fort Tryon Park. So the park uptown is Fort Tryon. There's the Cloisters here, which is a sister museum to the Met. Yeah, it's a fun time. Attend a Reading Rhythms event. Let's talk about reading rhythms. This is something that's new that I discovered last year. And it's basically if you like to read, but you have trouble finding the time to read and you want it to be like a social event, go to Reading Rhythms. It's like a group reading session, like a reading club. You all go, everyone's reading a different book, and you go, you read for like a couple of hours, and then you have time to talk to other readers about what they're reading and make friends and stuff like that. And it's all done to really, really smooth, like quiet ambient music. And they always have like a new musician every session, and it's fun. Reading Rhythms. I will leave links down below to like all these things. Sit along the Brooklyn Promenade and Piers. I've done this multiple times by myself. I like sitting along the pier better than the promenade, but sometimes the piers, especially like on a holiday weekend, people barbecue there. Like there's like a barbecue section, so there's like a lot of families with their children. You have to go like on the off season or like on an off day. That's not a weekend. The Whitney Free Fridays. Again, free on Fridays at the Whitney. Journal in the park. Central Park is my go-to journaling place. Love this. And then take a walk through Central Park. Again, Central Park is my go-to place. So those are all the things that I've done. I need to count these up because it's a lot. There's a lot of them. I just lost one. It fell on the floor. There's a lot of them, and I just kind of want to see. I did all of these last year, and yeah, for the most part, I did them by myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and the one that fell on the floor is 14. I did 14 artist dates. The ones that I didn't do by myself, i.e. the karaoke one, that one I'm still counting because, yes, I was with either friends or I was with my coworkers that I just met, which is still like huge, but that is a live karaoke bar, meaning you're singing karaoke to a live pianist in front of a group of strangers. And if that's not courage to me, like, I don't know, that counts. And so I did, 14 I said? And then I have a whole handful here of ones that I haven't done yet that I'm going to run through really quickly. And it's let's go to the beach. I've been to the beach, but I haven't been to the beach in like 4 years. So that is going in. Take a weekend trip to Boston, another one that I need to pre-plan. Visit the Brooklyn Botanic Gardens. Again, the only time, I don't think I've ever been into this garden. I think, again, this isn't, the gardens are in Prospect Park-ish. Cherry blossoms. I don't know if that was Prospect Park or the gardens, but yeah, I just need to visit. Attend a comedy show. Bonus points if you dress up. Again, this is sort of like the Broadway show thing. I don't even know if this is like focusing every time I do this, but whatever. Yeah, that. Take a day trip to New Haven. I feel like this doesn't need to be pre-planned. This is just taking Metro North from the city straight up. Last stop on the Harlem line is New Haven, Connecticut. I've never done that. Book club bar, drink and draw. This is the other one. The other one was the drink and draft. I have to do that. That's a pre-planning thing. Writing journaling session at the Lost Draft. There is a coffee shop called the Lost Draft where it caters to writers, and I just wanted to check it out. So that's not a pre-planned thing, that's like a walk-in. Sit at a bar and read, write, and draw. This was an idea from someone that I met at Skip the Small Talk who said like a really good thing that they try to do, especially for them being new in the city, is just going to a bar that's local to them that they're interested in. Again, I'm not a bar person, and just read or write or draw at the bar. They said read. And I'm just like, I like reading, writing, and drawing, so that might be fun to people watch and draw. Walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. I think I mentioned this one before, but this has always been on like a bucket list, and I've never done it. I've walked across the Manhattan Bridge with my friends, but never Brooklyn Bridge, and so this I feel like is something that I have to do either at night to see like the city all lit up, or really, really early in the morning. Probably what I would probably do is early in the morning, like hella early, from Manhattan to Brooklyn, and then maybe at night from Brooklyn to Manhattan. But yeah, that's something. Take a weekend trip to Providence, Rhode Island. That is something that I've been wanting to do. Again, that's a pre-planned one. Attend an open mic. I've always wanted to do this. I actually last night went to a talent show, which is kind of like an open mic. It was from a new friend. I think I talk about journaling classes a lot. If you're in New York City, there is this event, series of events. Her name is Emily. Her thing is journaling classes. I will leave Instagram links down below. And they're just really fun journaling classes that she does, mostly in Brooklyn. I love attending them. I love journaling. If you want some time to like journal and meet other people who love journaling and like really like journal and talk about like self-care and personal growth and stuff like that, journaling classes. But she started doing other events, and one of them is a talent show. This is her second one. I think her first one she did in her apartment. This one she did at like a location, but it's basically like an open mic, except you have to like sign up to perform in advance. So maybe that will count for this if I decide to do that. But yeah, I've never been to one of these. And what I mean by going to one of these is like going to one of these and then actually performing something at an open mic. That's what I mean by that. And the last one is find and go to a thrift store. I've done this before years ago with my friend John, and we weren't that successful. And so I need to go and find a thrift store. Like, I want to do that again. And this is an exception because I've done it before in the past. Didn't do it last year, but I've done it in the past. But I've always been meaning to do it, and I feel like going to Brooklyn might be the better option than trying to find a thrift store in Manhattan. So yeah, this might be a Brooklyn thing that I do. But yeah, those are all of my artist dates, and I wanted to run through them. I have a jar full of them. And so I think there are more in here than what I did last year. I only did 14, right? I think that was 14 to count. There's probably a lot more in here. And so my plan, again, is to pre-plan the ones that I need to pre-plan. So like any of like the weekend trips, the day trips or whatever, like mark off in my calendar the time to do that, which is insane because then I won't have I guess weekends free, but a lot of those things are weekday things. So I know all like the book club bar, drinking whatever, those happen on weeknights, and I'm pretty sure I can find other events. I know a lot of the art classes that I've been looking at to sign up for happen on weeknights. So I think having like a weeknight, I know all of journaling classes happen on weeknights. That's like, I do that religiously. I'm a regular at journaling classes. Again, I will leave links down below to like everything New York specific, and skip the small talk. So if you want to find things to do in the city that aren't like the stereotypical things, you have those links there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to like disperse things, sign up for stuff that are weeknights definitely, because then I'll have like weekends free, but other things would need to prioritize weekends, like those weekend trips, which yeah, I don't know if I'll get to do all of those this year, but they're day trips. I specifically put them in because it's just an Amtrak train away. I think the longest one would be Burlington, Vermont. But even though my goal is to do a lot of these this summer, it may have to extend into like the fall and winter time. Hopefully not the winter, because I noticed that I like to hibernate in the winter time, so it's probably not the best time to do artist dates. I like to hibernate. I like to be homey, like be a homebody. It's mostly in the spring and the summer that I kind of have this like restless urge to go out. And so I'm gonna try to basically pack my summer and fall in, like with all these things. And then, friends stuff too. I like have to see my friends. But yeah, I kind of wanted to come on and make this video because I'm hoping, I know I say this all the time and I always let myself down. I suck at vlogs. I'm not very good at a vlog, but I've always wanted just to do vlogs, and so I'm going to try my hardest to record my artist dates. I'm going to try my hardest to actually film and record. I don't know, I'm the type of person that like has this in mind to like record and like do a vlog, but then I get so wrapped up in like what I'm actually doing, which is great. It's me being present, but in the thing that I am participating in. But I don't know, I just kind of want to vlog it, or at least vlog my process. I think what's gonna happen is more of these sit down type videos where I'm just talking at you of ideas, things that I've been thinking about, things that I've done, maybe insert footage if I take any, but it's gonna be more of this. And yeah, this is what I'm feeling in my heart, is more of these sit down videos. Again, I like talking about personal growth and like just kind of personal growth in a way of how I've been dealing with my own like emotional, mental state and all the things that are coming at me, all the things that I've been thinking about. I have been thinking about that whole, I'm calling it Lonely Hearts Club, and that idea and how we can fix it, like how we can, I guess, facilitate more connection to each other, and mostly in real life. I know it's easy to connect with people online, but there's just something it's tangible when you can meet the person, in person, like physical bodies. Like we need that sort of connection. Kind of want to talk more about that, and like anything that you want to talk to me about, like, or want to hear my thoughts on. I kind of want to do more of these sit down videos and kind of share more of that stuff, because this is the stuff that I've been journaling about, but I haven't been creative. And I think it's just, there was an Instagram post, I think that Kaylee Gray did ages ago that really resonated with me, or maybe it was a comment that she left on my either one of my posts or comment to a comment that I left on one of her posts, where like maybe it's just the season that I'm in, where I'm just in a season that, yeah, I'm journaling, but writing. I'm writing journaling. I'm not like art journaling or creative journaling or anything like that. I'm more in the season of writing for myself. And so I don't know how to share that. Like I would love to share it, but I don't know how to share that. The only thing I can think of is having these little sit down videos where I kind of talk about what I've been going through and like what I'm learning from it and like what I'm discovering and what I'm doing and stuff like that. And so I don't know, leave a comment if you like these videos, like these types of talking videos for me. I know my diehard subscribers, I know who you are. I know a lot of you by name. You would love it because you just love hearing me talk about stuff. But other people who are here for more of the art stuff may not like it. But yeah, I'm really hoping that a lot of these artist dates actually have me creating or give me the motivation or inspiration to make something. It would be really cool just to see me going on the artist date and then me coming home and creating something from that. And so I'm hoping it turns into that, but I can't make any promises because, you know, I suck at doing that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on. This is a very long video. Again, Chatty. I'm going to put Chatty in the name of the video so that y'all know that it's a Chatty video. But I just kind of wanted to come on and share my idea, and hopefully I make time to do these videos. That's fingers crossed on that. Anyway, thank you so much, friends. I really hope you're all well. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk. So nice to see you, or hopefully to see my face, because I know it's been gone from this channel for a while. And yeah, I really hope you're well. Happy June. Can't believe it's already June. We're like almost halfway through the year. It's insane. And yeah, I really hope you're all having a really good 2024. My year, again, has been a whirlwind. It's been really, really hectic. It's been insane. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I feel like how I describe it to people is that I feel like I've been on a roller coaster that hasn't stopped yet. And yeah, it's just a lot of ups and downs. Just a lot of ups and downs, a lot of tears, a lot of coping with things by myself because that's how I process. I think I'm okay. Today feels like a good day, but yeah, just a lot of this. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for watching and for being here, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, friends.